Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Jennifer Harrod and I'm the Breast Nurse Navigator with Project 31 and a breast cancer survivor as well.
I'm Jane Wilson, CFO for Project 31 and breast cancer survivor. That's why we're here. So today we're going to talk about exercise after you've had breast cancer and possibly surgeries, radiation, reconstruction, all the things that can kind of impact your ability to exercise, maybe even for the first time or like you used to.
Definitely. And, exercise has been shown to improve your quality of life, combat the treatment side effects,
Yes.
increase survival rates, and reduce the risk of recurrence.
Right. All of those, because it is, cardiovascular, it's just so good for you to move, right? I do remember when I was actually going through chemo, my doctor said, don't overdo it. Mm-hmm. Don't be a hero. If you want to take a break from any kind of like real exercise, is a good time to give yourself a break.
Right.
But if you want to go on a walk or you want to do those kinds of things, he was an advocate for that. He did not want me working out like a real workout.
Right.
Right? So talk to your doctor about it, but take a break probably during active treatment. But once I got out of all of that, then it was about how to manage my new body.
Yes, that's for sure. And you bring up a good point talking about the walking in our cardiovascular health. They recommend, if your doctor says it's okay, at least 150 minutes a week of exercise. And if you're unable to do 30 minutes a day,
right,
maybe do 10 minutes at a time.
And it doesn't have to be like super fast.
No, just walk.
Power walking. Like it can just be literally a stroll.
Yeah, just walk. Because walking can increase your energy level and decrease that feeling of exhaustion.
Yes.
That we get.
I know that seems counterintuitive, right?
It does, yeah. I mean, people are like, well, I don't have the energy to do anything in my house. How am I going to walk? It will increase your energy level.
Just go
for that 10 minutes to start with. You don't have to start out with the full 150 minutes at the beginning.
Especially if you've not been an exerciser. Don't dive. During treatment is not the time to dive in.
No. Walking can also help deal with emotional issues like anxiety, depression. It can improve sleep. It can improve the ability to concentrate and remember things.
Yes, for sure. And I do feel like, especially if you can, if you live in an area of the country where you can be outside to walk.
Yes.
Then you've got the extra benefit of just some fresh air and sunshine.
Yeah. It can also strengthen our bones.
Yeah.
Support achieving and maintaining our healthy weight, and also increase survival after treatment.
Yeah. No, it's all good for you.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It really is.
So after I was finished with all my treatment and stuff, I had a friend that we used to walk every morning during the week, not on the weekends, but every morning we would walk 2 to 3 miles. And so I took a break from that while I was going through treatment. Well, when we started back up again, it was hard. It was hard to, I had to go slowly because I had taken such a big, long break from active exercise.
But that's still good that you were out there doing something, even if it's a slow walk.
And it was a slow walk and a short, slow walk.
It will improve.
And I'll tell you, so this was one thing that kind of surprised me. When I first started going back to walking, it kind of flared my lymphedema up just a hair. And so when I talked to my doctor about that, it was because of the increased kind of blood volume all of that. So that was, just know that that might be, if you start doing exercise, you might need to be a little proactive about that. So I just wore my sleeve for a few days, actually a little bit longer than that. But so for a little while, I wore my sleeve while I walked, and that helped that.
Yes, it
a lot.
Definitely can.
Yeah. So sometimes when you go from 0 to, now I'm working out, your body kind of needs to adjust to that a little more slowly than it used to when you were pre-cancer.
It definitely does. And I think, most cancer survivors can be more physically active without worry or without harm, but some people should see their physician before they start any exercising. And these may be people that have heart or breathing problems, extreme fatigue or low red blood cell counts, weakness or unsteadiness when walking, swelling in any part of your body,
Right.
Recent surgery, or the spread of cancer to the bones.
Yes. I can see how that would be. You would really want to go careful with that. So I know for me, the walking is super beneficial. I also do some light, very light, because I've had reconstruction. I have a lat flap. So I had to be very careful about anything that involves my upper body. I still do it, but I'm never going to have heavy, like I'm never going to be bench pressing things, right? Or heavy lat exercises.
Right.
I do them, but I do them at a very minimal weight level. And so again, work with either a trainer or get recommendations
Physical
from your
therapist.
doctor. Yeah, work with a physical therapist. How much weight is too much? How many reps are too many? You know, all of that kind of stuff can be really important. But I have found it to be so beneficial just in opening up and helping me
Yes.
stretch and try not to lose muscle mass as I get older.
Exactly, me too. I think no matter what breast surgery you've had, it's important to start exercising afterwards.
Yes.
To get your arm and
To
your
move.
shoulder moving.
Yeah.
To get it back to your usual activities.
Radiation too.
Yes, if you've had radiation, it's very important.
I still have, like, this still won't fully stretch out. Like, so I have to really work on that. And it's so helpful though to work with somebody to help you
Yes.
stretch that out.
And your doctor, if you talk to your doctor about this, they can refer you to somebody that can help with this. Because they may want you to see physical therapy, occupational therapy, because they're specially trained to help with this, that you
Right.
don't harm yourself.
Exactly, because you don't want to set yourself back where you're injured and you can't exercise.
Right. Exercises that increase our shoulder and arm rotation can usually be started a few days after surgery.
Wow, really?
Yeah. However, there are some that you do need to wait on, and especially if you still have drains or
yeah.
sutures, you need
yeah.
to wait.
Oh yeah, you need to wait a little while.
Strengthening exercises with weights can be added back into your regimen of working out after you've healed. So about 4 to 6 weeks after everything is done, give your body some time to heal, and then make sure that you're talking with your doctor and getting his approval or her approval before you start any exercise program.
So prior to cancer, did you run prior to cancer?
Yes, so I was running half marathons before cancer, and then I had to work back into it slowly afterwards. So, you know,
you didn't run a half marathon like 3 weeks after surgery.
No. I wanted to, and
know
my
you
body's like, no.
Right? It's not a good plan.
Yeah, my doctor, my physical therapist are all like, no, let's work back into this and getting your range of motion first.
Right.
And I think things to keep in mind after your breast surgery is if you get weaker, you start losing your balance or you start falling, you might need to slow down, you might need to stop and talk to your doctor and figure out ways to get back into that. If you have pain that gets worse when you're exercising, stop doing that
Be aware of
exercise.
that.
Talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
If you have a new heaviness or tightness or a strange sensation in your arm where you had your lymph nodes removed,
Yeah. And that was my problem.
yeah,
Was it flared it up. So it was just good to know why so that I could be aware of that. That wasn't on my radar that I needed to,
Right.
that if I started walking again that could make my lymphedema flare up. When I talked to my physical therapist, she was like, oh, well, of course it can. And she explained to me why, but I didn't know that.
no, I mean, we're just kind of getting over everything and trying to get back in shape. We think we can go back to doing the normal things we did beforehand.
And you just might have to do it more slowly.
Slowly,
Right?
yeah, definitely
Just take your
slowly.
time.
If you have any unusual swelling or swelling that gets worse. If you have headaches, dizziness, blurred vision, new numbness or tingling in your arms or chest, stop what you're doing, talk to your doctor.
Right.
And for me, so I'm 4.5 years out. And, I feel like I'm fairly in shape. But there are some great programs out there, such as Two Unstoppable, that you can go to and you can do workouts. They have a buddy system for working out, as well as Livestrong.
Livestrong's great. We have a lot of ladies who love Livestrong.
Yes, I am doing it again right now.
I know.
So
It's weekly,
wonderful.
right?
It is. They have it for 12 weeks, and you go twice a week. And then at the end, you get a free YMCA gym membership. So
Which is not a small,
no, it's huge.
it's a lot of money.
And they're teaching me how to do the exercises correctly, so I
Yes.
don't injure myself.
Right.
So, sometimes I think for myself, I'm such a all or nothing, so I'm going to get in there and I'm going to lift all these, try to lift all these heavy weights and injure myself.
Right.
So they're teaching you how to start slowly, how to do them properly.
And make sure your trainer, if you work with a trainer that's not a Livestrong person, if you have I had a physical trainer that she's certified and all of that, but she didn't specifically work with cancer patients.
Right.
So I had to explain to her, and I sent her a thing about what a lap flap was, what a lap flap reconstruction was, and I'm like, just know the goal here is not to work up to a high
Right.
heavy weight. Like, that is not the goal here. My legs, whatever. We can do whatever you want with my lower body.
Right.
But my upper body, there's a cap, and
Yes.
and we will never exceed that cap. And so once I explained to her kind of my limitations, I mean, I'm not going to be,
No, a bodybuilder.
not going to happen. Not going to happen. And she had to be okay with that. I'm okay with that, but she had to be okay with that.
Right.
And give me exercises that weren't going to aggravate things, that weren't going to make it worse.
And when you start exercising, I know for myself, I'd been seeing physical therapy for my lymphedema, and they told me, if you start having a flare-up, because sometimes it can happen once you start exercising, like you talked about, come back and see us.
Exactly.
Don't hesitate to come back and see physical therapy.
Yep, and I did that for quite a while. I would bounce back and forth between seeing my physical therapist and I was still working out on a trainer, I think twice a week at that point. And so, because I just kind of wanted to get back in, and what I wanted to do was make sure I had good form while
Yes.
I was doing these exercises. They weren't necessarily new exercises, but they were my new body.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure somebody was spotting me that knew if I had good form. And because I can learn, now I don't work with a trainer anymore.
Right.
I know the form. But that was key for me, was that I wasn't favoring one side or the other.
Because we tend to do that.
Well, yeah, because I'm stronger on this side. I'm weaker on this side. So for me, it was about, learning how to use my tummy more and things like that. So all of that's super beneficial, but I had to really talk to my trainer, nope, we're
can't do that.
We're not ever going to be able to do that, And I mean, I remember one time she was like, "Can you do a few more reps?" I'm like, "I can, but I don't think that's smart. I'm going to pay for it tomorrow."
You know your body.
I know my body. And so I was like, I know you think this looks easy for me, but this is the maximum here,
Right.
So just know your body. But I feel so much, I hate exercise. I despise it with everything in me.
Yeah.
But I feel so much better whenever I do it.
It does, and you're doing so much to help prevent a reoccurrence. It's not going to guarantee that you're not going to have a reoccurrence, but it can help.
Well,
to prevent
and
it.
for me, osteoporosis is in my family history.
Mine too.
My grandmothers, all my grandmothers, my mom has it a little bit. And so all the chemo that I did and everything is not beneficial to your bones. And so for me, I do it partly for that.
Right.
Because I want to keep what little bit of bone mass, that I've got going on. And muscle mass. I don't want to lose muscle mass as I get
Definitely.
older either.
So just doing a low weight and doing more reps is wonderful. That
Yeah.
can be very beneficial.
Super beneficial and not difficult. I mean, I'm sweating, but not because,
Right.
it's hard. I'm sweating because it's just, you're moving your body and you're going to sweat, and that's good for you too, actually.
Exactly.
It's all good for you. The other thing too, and you mentioned this earlier, was balance. So I
Yes.
feel like exercise, as we age, and I know not all of y'all are old like me, but as we age, balance is one of the first things to kind of go. And so
Well,
continuing to work out helps
Also,
that.
that's one thing that physical therapy and Livestrong really focuses on is balance. Because if you think about it, if you're taking my front half off of me and maybe you're putting in implants, maybe you're doing a flap, but you're still changing your body's weight on what you've dealt with for your whole life.
Your whole life, yeah.
So now you have to figure out your balance all over again.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing that
It's
they
not
really...
just in your head.
No. And that's one thing they really focus on. And it's taken me a long time to get there because I remember standing on one leg and I'd go over like a tree.
I have terrible balance. I need to work more on that. And stretching obviously is good for you too. Just gentle stretching and just moving your body and stretching it, purposefully putting it into a position that maybe is slightly uncomfortable, and then the next day it's a little more comfortable, and the next day after that it's a little more, just all of those kinds of things. Like I stretch this out all the time because this is where I had a lot of radiation and just all the things. But yeah, knowing your body, knowing your limitations, your physical limitations, get your doctor's endorsement on it for sure. But don't be afraid to try new exercises either. I saw a thing the other day, we were talking about it at retreat, wall Pilates. Have you seen that?
I have not.
It's a whole new, it's new to me.
Wow.
Where you lean up against the wall and do different Pilates kind of things. And so they're always coming up with ways to move your body that maybe you didn't think of before.
Well, and I would say I always encourage the ladies I speak with, if they are getting ready for surgery, before you have your surgery, any kind of breast surgery, no matter lumpectomy, mastectomy, ask for a referral to a physical therapist, somebody that specializes in breast surgery, in lymphedema, and have them evaluate what is your range of motion before surgery and measure your arms so that after surgery and even before surgery, they'll give you some exercises to do. And then after surgery, they're going to reevaluate you. They're going to measure what's your range of motion.
Yeah.
Have you had any issues with swelling and lymphedema? So you have somebody that already has a ballpark figure of, this is your plan. This is the exercises you can start doing after surgery. And then if you have issues, like I had cording real bad. So I already had somebody on my team ready to help me. And I just called them up and said, okay, I need in.
Right.
So I think
done deal.
Yeah, and not every doctor is going to think about that.
Right.
So ask your doctor, ask your oncology surgeon, hey, can I have a referral to a physical therapist or somebody that specializes?
And if it's too late, if you've already had the surgeries and you didn't get that baseline in advance, go see one anyway. They can at least get a baseline on your arms where they are now, so that if you ever did have a flare-up of lymphedema particularly, it's measurable at that point. And I have just the slightest bit of lymphedema kind of always. Just very slight. It's not unmanageable. It's not a big deal. But I know what that feels like after all these years. If it flares up, I also know what that feels like. But I went and got a baseline, but it was way after all my surgeries. It was not prior to my surgery. I don't have a baseline of my original.
Right.
But I have my left arm. My left arm is that is my baseline effectively. But no, they'll do it any time in your journey. And so that having that piece of information can be really beneficial if you have a flare-up, especially.
Exactly.
And can help your physical therapist know if what they're doing is helping or not helping.
Right.
Yeah, they have a good gauge for that. So another thing about exercise is try to incorporate it in every day if you can, even just a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. I'm real guilty about today's the day I exercise, today's not the day I exercise. But I'm trying to be more active about getting in more steps. I bought an Apple Watch. I'm trying to motivate myself to get up and move around even if I'm not exercising, right? If it's just a normal day, it's a day where I'm with clients all day or whatever. Mm-hmm. How can I incorporate even 10 or 15 minutes of additional walking in my day? I took the stairs coming up here this morning.
Oh, that's great.
Pat myself on the back for that, right? But just stuff like that, just kind of being aware that I guess there is such a thing as too much movement. Like I couldn't do a marathon. That would probably,
Right.
like wear me slick.
Not
But
everybody.
but in my everyday life, is there too much thing? Like, can I take too many steps in a day? I'll just be sore a little bit,
Yeah, exactly.
But it's actually good for me.
And that time you're standing in the kitchen cooking, you can do a few squats or something while you're cooking.
Exactly, for sure. Or just, like I was talking, we were talking in another video, I like to sit out on my porch and drink coffee.
Yes.
Well, I can stand out there too.
True.
Like I don't have to sit every minute.
Right.
I can just stand out there and watch the birds.
Exactly.
Hang out for a little while. Even just a few little things like that in your life can make a big difference.
And I think it really helps to have a plan as well. If you
An intention for sure.
If you have that plan, for me, if I don't have a plan, I'm not going to find time in my schedule to do something. I'm not going to make it a priority. So I have to just for myself, for my psyche, okay, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to walk 30 minutes today.
Right.
I'm going to, just something to keep me motivated.
For me, it's I have a buddy that I meet at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
And so that little bit of accountability, we were laughing the other day because my friend couldn't go to the gym, and so I don't go when she can't go. And my daughter said, Mom, they will let you in the gym without Sheila. I'm like, I'm not sure they will. I think my card doesn't work unless she's with me. And she's like, go to the gym. I'm like, it's just not as much fun to go by myself, So if you have a buddy you can go on a walk with, or pop in a podcast, that's another.
I do that.
I do that a lot. Like if I'm by myself, I'll pop in a podcast in my ears, and got those earbuds with me all the time, and I'm listening to something because it makes the time go by.
And you can listen to a Project 31 podcast while you walk.
Absolutely. Or music. Sometimes music is a good. Like I'll put on some, really high energy music, and it kind of makes me forget that I'm walking around the neighborhood.
My husband laughs at me because I'll put in, I listen to Audible books.
Yeah.
I'll put on a book and I'm like, I'm just walking because now's my time that I can hear my book.
Yes, exactly. So kind of make it, something that you look forward to, because for me, I never look forward to exercise. It's just not my jam. But it's so necessary in my life, and I figured that part out. At least I'm not, I figured that out. I don't like it, but I'll do it, right?
Exactly.
The benefits far outweigh not doing it. I get really
do.
stiff and sore if I don't exercise on a regular basis.
Well, and a lot of women that are taking their hormone blockers, and they have that stiffness, that soreness, they say that exercise, just walking, can help with that.
It does. It definitely helps me. I will say that as my testimony is it helps me a lot. But just being intentional about it, like you said, having a plan, making a plan, sticking to a plan. Sometimes I'll put a timer on my phone that just like a reminder that just says like take a walk, go for a walk. Especially if it's a week when my friend can't meet me at the gym.
And set that goal. My goal is to walk 150 minutes a week. Well, I can't do it right now, but maybe I'm going to walk 10 minutes each day and then increase it to 15. Something that kind of gets you going, a goal that you can focus on.
And listen, I promise you, if you've thought of it, there's an app for that.
Oh man, there is. And Too Unstoppable, like I mentioned before, you can have a workout buddy. They'll match you up with a workout buddy. So even if it's virtual, you can still have some accountability.
Well, and there are so many virtual workout things now that are live or pre-recorded, and that just didn't used to exist. COVID changed a lot of things, and I think the idea of having a live session that you can, because did you have those Beachbody videos? Did you have this?
Yes, I did. I can think of the theme song.
I hated them, but I would do them. And so, but I think if you have one that's live, like I think that's why Peloton's been so successful, is because they're giving you feedback during the class, and so. But there's things where you don't even have to buy Peloton. Like you just attend the class and sign up, and it's in your living room.
It's perfect.
Who'd have thunk it?
Especially if you're trying to get back into working out and you don't want to go to a gym or because you don't feel comfortable,
Right.
You know, you can do them at home, especially
Right.
if you have somebody that is trained as a physical trainer for cancer patients.
Of course. And so I was talking to somebody the other day about they needed to go to one that was really gentle and very, you know, like slow. And I made a suggestion of a class they could go to, and she said, it's all old people in there. And I thought, well, then a video thing would be a great
Right.
thing because it doesn't matter. So you can Google on YouTube like crazy too. You don't have to pay for any of these if
Right.
you don't want to. But on YouTube, there's like, you know, exercise for seniors, stretching
Right.
for seniors. Put for seniors in almost anything, and you'll find a class that works for you even if you're not a senior because they're going to go slowly. It might be chair yoga or chair Pilates.
You can get a good workout that way.
You can get a nice workout. So don't not find a solution because it's not ready available in your community. And especially if you're rural, that can be a big problem. There's so much on YouTube now.
Oh, there is.
That'll guide, especially stretching. There's tons and tons and tons of stretching videos. And sometimes that's just all I'll do is do a nice 20-minute
needed.
stretch. And I feel good after that, you know.
It stretches, and that's what you need.
And it helps you breathe, you know. They concentrate on those two things usually. And so I have no excuse. I don't like it, but I have no excuse. If I don't do it, it's just on me. So you have no excuse. If I can do it, you can do it. I don't like it, but I do it. Like I make it happen, right? And some people love it. I know you love to run.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
love to run.
That's your jam.
And you know, but as we get older, I had to stop running at the beginning of this year because of my neck.
I know.
And you know, nothing to do with breast cancer. I just have a bad neck.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've taken up walking.
Yeah.
I can do that. It's not as much impact on my neck. And,
Right.
you know, I enjoy it. I walk with friends and
Mm-hmm.
just have good conversation. And I actually get to look at houses. I love to walk in neighborhoods and look at houses.
Nice.
I don't
You're
know
not
why,
running
but
past
that's-
them?
No, it's kind of fun. I never saw that before. Driving in my car, I don't
Yeah.
see that.
No, it's true. Yeah, you're a little slower and
Yeah.
get to
So
take
you
it all
get
in.
to, you know, so it's kind of fun for us. We'll be like, okay, which neighborhood do you want to walk in today?
Right. No, I love it. But I guess the takeaway is it's never too late to start.
No.
Start slow, but it is never too late to start. You
never
can
too late.
always incorporate more exercise into your life, and the benefits far outweigh
Mm-hmm.
the negative. Don't injure yourself, obviously, but
And you can always find an exercise that you can do.
and that you like. Surely you can find some. And there's so
Oh,
many
yeah.
choices. You can find something that we don't all like the same thing, but there's something out there for everybody.
Oh yeah, a lot of people like swimming, and that's amazing for you.
It's very good
I'm
for
not
you.
a good swimmer,
No, me
so
either.
it'd be more like sinking. But you know, but that's a wonderful exercise for people. So there's something for everybody. Working with your doctor to get the approval and the go ahead to start working out, working with a physical therapist or trainer that is specialized in cancer patients.
Super beneficial.
You know, and then once you have that knowledge, you don't have to keep with them, like you said, forever.
Yeah.
You have that knowledge, then you're on your way.
Yeah. I mean, I love my trainer and I miss her, but I can't afford it forever.
No.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
But don't let that keep you from at least investigating options, right? Because sometimes, like this Live Strong program is free.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
So they can
absolutely-
teach you a ton for free. And that's offered to anybody who's had any kind of cancer.
It is.
If you have a Y, and well, I assume most Ys have it at some point. But here, it's offered by the Y.
Yes.
And but it doesn't cost anything. So
Absolutely
geez,
free.
what a great resource.
You meet some great people too. I have loved it because I just meet new people that I wouldn't have met. So cancer does have some cancer blessings, even though we don't always see them or want to see them.
That's one of them, though, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, get out there. Spring is here. It's Easter weekend this weekend, so hopefully it's going to start to be beautiful wherever you are, and you can get outside a little bit and enjoy the sunshine and take a walk. Right?
Yes.
Take a walk. That's a good start for everybody. But we hope you enjoyed our video today. Please join us next time, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.